won. So that's a positive thing. But obviously didn't start the right way. Poor first half, especially on offense. Did some good things on defense in the first half. Didn't respond in the second half. And did some good things in the second half, especially offensively. But just really still frustrated with how we finished on defense. So just a very frustrating night, but find a way to win the game. Continue to work on the things. We showed some improvement in some areas that we need to work on. That will continue. Proud of our guys going back and responding to the second half. Obviously didn't respond to the delay very well, didn't respond to the weather very well, and that's on me. So obviously the way I prepared wasn't good enough. So I was appreciative for a win. I know they're hard to get. You look around the country, there's some pretty disappointed fan bases tonight. But at the same time, you know, that's not acceptable in my mind as far as the standard with which we have to play. So too many mistakes, and it's not good enough. But we're never going to take for granted that we'll win. So, but proud of our guys for doing that. Got to get ourselves healthy. Came out of it pretty healthy, I think, and then get ready for a big win next week. Questions?
Dustin and Matt.
John, obviously, just to stick with that as far as the offense and just wasn't good enough. Just what did you see in the first half?
It seemed a lot of sync. You know, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and make excuses. It just, you know, obviously things were, you know, different schedule we were on. We go in there, you sit and wait. You know, both teams had that, so that's just reality, you know, and just the weather. You got to learn to deal with the weather. Tried to have a rain practice this week. We knew rain was coming, and got some sprinkles. We did the wet ball drills with our guys, you know, trying to get ready for that. You know, the interception that Connor had there right before half was just an overthrow. It slipped out of his hand, but you got to make that throw. The guy's wide open, you know. So I just felt like, man, we should have been up by multiple scores in the first half. You know, Chuck missed 2 field goals, which he hadn't missed in a long time. So it was just, golly, it felt like it's Halloween every time. It was just weird stuff and just crazy things and leaving guys open. 2 of our best players gave up those last 2 touchdowns on defense. 2 of our best players, you know, in the second half and on blown assignments. And so it's just, to me, it's just lack of focus, you know. So, and that's my responsibility. So obviously the message for this week was pretty stern. Matter of fact, I lost my voice on Wednesday's practice, lost my voice on Thursday's practice, and just trying to make sure that this team didn't take these guys for granted because we blew them out a year ago. And I knew the film showed me it wasn't the same football team. And so you saw the team that they almost beat a week ago, went into Madison, beat the Badgers, you know, so in Washington State. So I knew this team had talent. I knew this team had some good players on it and good enough to beat us if we didn't show up. And obviously, first half, you know, so I was concerned about that. I really was, you know, and you get confidence to hang around, which they obviously did. They're up 10-0 at half. And so coming out at halftime, reestablishing that was a big deal. But golly, we sure enjoy making it hard on ourselves. Could have been a whole lot different, but we didn't. And we got to own what happened, and that's on me. And I was pretty strong with him in there. Yeah, we sang the fight song. We do what we do after a win, but you know, this one just, we know it's not the standard we have to play to be able to be where we want to be as a football team. So we'll take the win, but we're going to take what comes along with poor play, which is accountability. So that's on me.
And Zach?
Hey, Coach. You mentioned the defense. Deshaun was the guy tonight that was really active. I guess just talk about having a guy like that where you can kind of move him around like a chess piece and try to get him in matchups where he can, you know, get after the quarterback or make plays in the backfield.
And that's the goal, you know, and then you balance that with his youth, you know. He's obviously only his second college game, so you don't want to put too much on him. But you also see the skill set that he has and the different things he can do in the pass rush game, in the coverage game, in the run game. So talented football player, and we got to continue to utilize him. And I'm really proud of him. I tell you what, this is the thing I love about Deshaun is that he's got talent. He's 6'5" and 225 pounds. He can run, but he is a really good practice player. He's very locked in. He's very mature for his age as a freshman. He understands how to study film. He cares a lot. Works really hard. He's really good during walkthroughs, which usually is an area that freshmen struggle with because it's not what they're used to. And being locked in during those and just positioning of him and just the checks, adjustments. So I'm really proud of him, and he's making plays. You know, and he came up big for us tonight, so that's going to have to continue.
Second,
just returning to the wider theme, but what got, as you observe them as a coach, and I imagine some of it's you, some of it's the staff, but especially maybe as you observe a team that brought in a lot of new faces last season, especially on the offensive side, a lot of guys, maybe they've been together in practice but haven't been in these sort of adverse situations in games. How did you see them kind of dig themselves out of it, I guess?
Yeah, which is a positive thing. I mean, you know, we can say what we want, you know, but, you know, we had a heck of a third quarter, you know, and that's how we're supposed to do that. To me, I envision that being the first quarter, to be honest with you. And that's how I expect us to start the game on offense and defense and special teams. And so for those guys, and yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, I got after them at halftime, and I told the coaches to get after them at halftime, you know, but it was also, hey guys, just play football, execute, play hard, do what you're supposed to do. And that to me is a good sign, you know, for our guys. They did respond, you know, and were able to take back the momentum that we had lost. And they had all the momentum. I mean, they got, you know, at the end of the second half, they got the ball back and to open the third quarter and that whole sequence of events here. So just to be able for the guys to be able to dig deep, and I grabbed individual leaders on our team in each different areas, challenged them to make sure our guys came out the second half ready to compete. So the response was very encouraging. We just can't wait for halftime to start playing football.
Tyler and Mason.
Coach, on Thursday, you talked about just being impressed with Sean Chalmers, his fire that he has, his work ethic, and just the charisma that he has. I guess, you know, in your mind, is there any moments that stand out, I guess, during fall camp or as the season has gone started that just kind of exemplifies that?
Well, I just think, you know, it's consistency, you know, and ever since he got here, you know, he brings juice to the weight room. You know, he brings energy to practice. I will say we were doing a perimeter drill, and he about got us into a brawl, okay, which was a good thing from his perspective. He has an edge about him, okay, and he practices with that edge. And he has a lot of I would say, South Florida confidence, okay? And sometimes that brings a little chippiness, a little bit of chirpiness to the situation, if you know what I'm talking about. He likes to talk a lot, right? And so, but at the same time, there's an edge about him, you know? And I said, there's a reason why he's this tall, and he thinks he's this tall, right? He really has a different mindset, he really does. And so, but that's infectious. So that's what I love about him. I mean, he's tough as nails. I mean, you saw that shot he took last week. I mean, that was like, holy smokes, you know, and, you know, he just had a sore chest. That was it, you know, and so, and he came back and played, you know, and so there's a toughness to him, but like you said, that in that practice, matter of fact, it's one of those where if I had to stop the whole thing and bring everybody together, but at the same time, I was like, okay, I like this. We didn't have this last year. We didn't have anybody on offense like that last year, and that, to me, that's the truth, okay, and Walt kind of had that about him, okay, Walt wasn't here last year. And so we lost that edge on offensive side of football, and Sean Chalmers has that. And so to me, that's what you got to have. And it's a fine line we talk about, just having that controlled rage that you should be able to be under control, but having intensity and toughness to you, and edge about you. And Sean brings that to our team.
Mason and Jeff.
Coach, obviously you guys had to replace a big part of your offensive line as you put the going down last week, but you guys really held it at the run game. Kind of just talk about how what kind of changes you guys made during the week and how you guys held it at the run game this weekend.
Well, we made it a priority, you know, and knew we had to. And I don't see the exact numbers here, but you know, rushed for 200 yards, which is, you know, what you really want to be able to do. I guess 239 total. But that's, you know, something we just know we got to do. You know, and I know different schemes, and they're going to, you know, do different things to try to take it away. But at the same time, we know that's a big deal for us. So, really proud of our offensive line, proud of our running backs, proud of our offense for doing that, because that's a big deal for us. And so I just know that that's going to continue to be a focus. We've done more things with inside drill and going ones versus ones and getting our guys ready. We're going to do it all last week. We're going to do it again every week just to try and continue to get better at that. And so, and just trying to find, you know, some good schematic answers for our guys, and give them a chance to execute the calls and have some success in our game, because obviously it takes a ton of pressure off. And honestly, I mean, I really do believe this. I don't know. I mean, we stopped ourselves. I mean, the whole first half, we just like every time we turn around, we're just like, good grief. But sometimes you got to be able to battle through those games. So hopefully that's out of our system. But running the football needs to be what we do effectively.
Jeff.
This might be a better question for Coach Bell, but you bring in this Donovan McCulley there on that goal line package. Was that something that, like, maybe going into the game, you wanted to add today, or was that kind of a situation thing? And how much more do you think that will?
Definitely something we wanted to add. I just, my whole thing is this, and so I just go through and I don't tell them what to do, but I tell them I want certain guys involved, and we're trying to find ways to get him involved more. And I feel like he's a special player. I think Seven's a special player. He was a huge part of the spark to get us going. And so to me, those two guys kind of stick out to me, to be able to say, hey, they're different physically and they got different skill sets. And so definitely want to get him more and more involved. He has another catch, and he's got a lot of talent, but he is also learning a new position. So, but yeah, to me, I can see those are kind of things we need to be able to do to help us, get in the end zone.
All right, thanks, Tim.
Have a great night.